Okay, so it's Dan here again, VE7VU, and this is part 2 on Meshtastic. And the last video I did about Meshtastic, it was kind of just an introduction into what Meshtastic is and just an overview. And in this video, I wanted to talk specifically about MQTT and what it is and what's the uses. I was going to show you, here's an example of a solar node. It's a 5-watt solar panel with a rack wireless 4631 board on the back. And this is truly off-grid wireless setup and very inexpensive to deploy. And you can go put that up on top of a mountain somewhere in your town or something. And it's amazing what you can do with it. But the MQTT, which stands for Message Queuing Telemetric Transport, a lot of folks don't understand it or know what it is, or maybe they're dead against it because they think this is supposed to be an off-grid messaging system, and why would I want to enable MQTT? And this is a way to bridge nodes together using the internet. Well, it can be very helpful if you're in a rural area where the mesh system has not been built up very much yet. It makes it more interesting, so you're connecting with more nodes and you actually have someone to talk to. You know, and it's all about the newcomers. If there's someone new, I've noticed there's a lot of folks who don't have any experience with radios at all. They've just come on the scene. They got their Meshtastic stuff. Maybe they know a lot about computers or networking and stuff, but they've never had any sort of radio experience. And we want that to be something for them to talk to, and so you can get on that open channel and you can talk to these guys. And they're the most important, the newcomers. And this is how we can, you know, bring people together. And so the MQTT, in my opinion, is very useful and very important. And what you know, for starters, even if you don't want to use MQTT or have it enabled on your node, you want to have it enabled, the ability to MQTT. And if you look on your node in your settings under LoRa config here, if you go in, you want to make sure that it says OK to MQTT, right? So if it doesn't say OK to MQTT, you could be missing out on some traffic or some messages from another node. There could be a node on that mountain over there that is using MQTT, and if that's not enabled on your particular device, you're missing out on some traffic that could be coming through there. Okay, so if you're going to actually enable MQTT on your node that has internet access, then you need to use, you could use the default public server, which would be like mqtt.meshtastic.org is the server address. Username is meshdev and password's large for cats. Or there's, in Canada, there's a public server as well, Canadaverse, which would be mqtt.mt.gt and meshdev large for cats. So that's a couple. You could have your own private server too, but you know, if you get on these public servers, there's a lot of nodes going to be bridged together and have that possibility of some more traffic on the public channel. But you also have to make sure encryption's enabled. But also, when you go into your settings, you go to the channels, right? Like for instance, your primary channel here, make sure that MQTT, if you see at the bottom there, uplink enabled and downlink enabled. And if that's not enabled, up and downlink, it's not going to work for you. So yeah, you know, another thing that I've really noticed with some of these folks that maybe it's their first experience with radios, they've never used you know, any kind of radio communications before. They may not know that the antenna is the most important part of any radio system. And you know, the little antennas that come with like maybe the Heltec V4 or some of those, they're really compromised antennas that they don't work very well, and they might have really unsatisfactory results. And you can get any kind of these antennas, like they're not very expensive. Get them off Amazon, these like sort of longer whip antennas with SMA on the bottom, and just plug one of these into your Heltec V4. And you'll be amazed at the results. It'll be much better, because especially when you're dealing with the low power stuff. One way that I used to put it was, if you can imagine, you have this really expensive stereo system and high powered stereo, but you got really crappy speakers, and it's still going to sound like garbage, even though it's a really, you know, powerful, expensive stereo. So it's the same thing with the radio. Think of your antenna as your speakers. And so if you don't have a good antenna, at least something decent, like this is at least more decent than what comes with those Heltec V4s and stuff. So hopefully that gives you an idea of, you know, MQTT, I think is helpful, especially for the more rural areas where the networks aren't built up. And another helpful website is the Mesh, you can go look at the map on meshmap.net, and on there, if there's any nodes that are anywhere near an MQTT, a node that has MQTT enabled, you're going to see it showing up on the map, and you can look around you and stuff like that. So and there's some areas that may appear there's no nodes there. You won't see it on mesh map, and that's because they're not running MQTT, and they may not need to. They may have a whole bunch of nodes there, and it's all meshed out and whatever. But it's just my point, and the point of this video is, give it a try. Try using the MQTT and see if that helps you with having some more traffic in your area. Thanks for watching.
What are you doing, XOJ?
Oh, I'm just looking at my Meshtastic. It looks like there's a message came in. Oh, it's from Dan. It says, contribute to your local mesh by setting up a node and saying hi on a local public channel. Well, that's fantastic.